Hello, this is Cartoon Conversations, your philosophical mumbo-jumbo spewing and thought-having podcast. We review this episode, Justice League Unlimited, Episode 8, The Return.
Ba-boom! Cue lightning.
Our special effects budget has gone up, as you can see. Okay.
Drum.
So Elliot is going to introduce our big question now.
Yes, I will, and not mess it up. Cough. So this episode was a lot deeper than we had anticipated, and a lot deeper than a lot of the other episodes so far. So we questioned the God, I can't even speak. We questioned the philosophy that is intended to, that is shown in this episode, and whether it fits for this kind of series. Right?
Yeah.
No?
No, that's right. So we're pretty excited to see if what this episode put forth is what fits with what they've other put. Because this writer here is actually one of the more prolific writers this season. He wrote 3 of the 13 episodes.
Prolific.
Yeah, his name is J.M. DeMatteis. Hopefully that's how you pronounce it. And he... What you would know, he previously wrote For the Man Who Is Everything, which was the episode where Superman was trapped by the Black Mercy, which was also a pretty crunchy philosophical episode. So, should be pretty exciting. Okay. And just a little bit of backstory you need because of
Crunchy.
Justice League.
So good, it tasted so great.
Yes, crunchy as in thought-provoking. In Justice League, Lex Luthor tricked Ivo, who's another professor's android, and into almost destroying the Justice League, and then the android freed himself and swore vengeance on Lex Luthor. That's all the backstory you need.
Well, he didn't swear vengeance on Lex Luthor. He did not say that.
No,
what happened was...
but he was very angry with Luthor.
Tricked... What? He had tricked Professor Ivo's robots. Oh no, he was not angry with Luthor. Well, he was pissed with Luthor, but when he left, it was much different than seeking revenge. As he had finally obtained every single power, this is Amazo, by the way, which is a really crazy upgraded version of Amazo, who can take the powers of every single superhero or villain that he comes into contact with. Except this Amazo was not just a robot. He was a very well-thinking kind of thing. He took the powers of every single person, finally taking, after he fought the Martian Manhunter, and then after being asked the question, what will you do? He flies off into space to go out and find himself. The android, realizing that he's become so much more than what he started out to be, sort of is starting to discover his own purpose. He's now going to find, what did Martian Manhunter say back in that episode? That he's going to find a place that has something to offer him, or he's going to be with the gods, pretty much. Because that is what he has become.
He really has. He's pretty much undefeatable.
And now he's coming back, which is great.
Yep. And it's not, unfortunately though, it's not for tea and witty conversation.
Witty.
He would love Cartoon Conversations if that's what he was looking for.
Oh, of course, because we have all the tea and the wit. Except
we have one of those two things.
And the wit was
I have a teapot. So,
burning tea.
Yes. So, let's start the episode breakdown. If you're ready.
I'm never ready, but I do it anyway.
So, we open on the Watchtower.
My life is a lie.
Sorry, what did you say?
No, I'm kidding. Keep going.
So we open the Watchtower, and there's only one this time. Maybe Bruce Wayne had to sell a couple because he built 8.
Why don't we do some kind of tallying on his budget or something?
Yeah, I do wonder how much the International Space Station costs and what it would cost to build 8 of them. And
3 watchtowers, $17 million, getting hit on by Wonder Woman, priceless. For everything else, there's the Bat credit card.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. No, wait, I just thought about the Bat credit card.
Yes?
Okay. Where do they send the bill?
I don't know. But I mean, that was the whole point, that it was absolutely dumb. And it never should have been.
Yeah, no, that's pretty dumb. That's even dumber if you think about it for a second.
Bat credit card. It's like, can we trace this?
Yeah.
The funds are coming from Bruce Wayne, apparently.
Huh, what a nice guy picking up Batman's tab.
Yeah, he's picking up Batman's debt.
So, okay. So, Wayne Corp stock went down, I guess. So, cut to the inside of the Watchtower, where Green Lantern, our Green Lantern, John Stewart, is asking the Guardians to get transferred to Oa, which is the Green Lantern planet. And this is presumably because he's pretty broken up about his breakup with Hawkgirl, or Shaira.
Right.
Remember in the first episode he called out to her when he was injured?
Shaira!
Yeah.
I think I did
A shout that shall live in infamy on Cartoon Conversations.
my best Green Lantern impression.
And Kyle Rayner is in the background, which is actually pretty cool. This is the only time he appears in Justice League Unlimited. Martian Manhunter comes to John Stewart's defense, suggesting that Kyle and John could switch. Martian Manhunter likes Kyle, they can hang out. They're buds. So, Kyle says he'd like to see Earth.
Which one of the little blue guys are they talking to? I think was it Chrono?
They never say. It would have been cool to know which one, because all the Guardians have different personalities, and in the comics and in the Green Lantern TV show, they all kind of...
Chrono, Scar, Ganthet.
Ganthet's my favorite. I think he's everyone's favorite, though.
Yeah.
So he'd like to see Earth, and the Guardian just glares at him.
Yep.
That Guardian might be 2 feet tall, but you do not stand up to his glare.
Yeah. Don't piss off Blue Grandpa, or he will beat you.
Yes. And the Guardian says he doesn't make changes because of personal problems.
Right. But then he shows a little sympathy, so you can clearly tell he still understands.
He clearly cares for John Stewart. You're right. But
he's like, well, I'm sorry, I can't do it.
It is a military organization. He can't just make changes willy-nilly.
Right.
Okay.
Nilly or nilly.
Yes.
Especially nilly.
So suddenly an alarm goes off on Oa. An unidentified flying object is flying at Oa. And the whole corps that's on Oa, the elite, the honor guard, goes out to stop it. They raise a shield, but they're unsuccessful.
Oh my god, they raise a shield and it was just like, ain't nothing gonna get through this. And
bam, it got through.
Something was gonna get through that.
Yeah, really. Everyone must have slapped him on the head because it was like, thanks for jinxing it, douche.
Yeah. they put the thing together and it's like, alright, just as long as no one says anything stupid, ain't nothing gonna get through this. Thanks, man. And then it just rips right through.
So, after that happens, the Guardians raise the planetary defenses. However, we never get to see them because the planet explodes. And John Stewart is just destroyed.
Oh my god, the planet doesn't even just explode. The planet bursts for a second and then disappears. It sparkles away out of existence.
It's crazy.
Yes.
So, Green Lantern is shocked, but Martian Manhunter is a little bit more with it. He identifies the android as Ivo's android, Amazo, as you said earlier, but from Justice League. Now credits. Okay, we come out of credits, and Green Lantern is still shocked at the loss of Oa. This has hit him really hard. Martian Manhunter has calculated the trajectory, and he has found that Ivo's android is coming to Earth. Martian Manhunter sets up 3 lines of defense: space, air, and land. Superman wonders why Amazo is coming back. Not even Martian Manhunter knows. I love how in charge Martian Manhunter is here.
Yes.
He instantly knows what to do, who to put where, and what the plan is. And everybody follows.
He's also kind of like Space Grandpa at the same time.
He's kind of a bit of a den mother to the League.
Yeah.
Like, he acts as their psychologist, and people come to him when they want new assignments, and...
Yeah. Before, that was actually Black Canary, but that's only in Young Justice where they have that.
Yeah, that was pretty great in Young Justice. That's one of my favorite episodes. The episode after
Oh,
the
right.
training scene, where they spend an entire episode dealing with the psychological problems of the team.
Oh my god, I love that. And how
And
each person, like, viewed it differently. It's so crazy.
that
But
that is
no,
a triumph of writing, that
in
episode.
this one, you could say that she's a lot younger than in Young Justice.
Oh yes, Black Canary in Young Justice is an older superhero.
Yeah,
She is one of the elite.
she's
She's
grizzled.
paid her dues. In this, she's an up and coming superhero. She's got potential, but she's still rough around some edges.
Right.
Which
Which I'm sure Green Arrow would like to smooth up. You get what I'm saying? Sex pun.
yes.
God, and I'll be over here crying.
Okay. Just as Green Arrow, for all his good qualities, could probably be less of a dog. So, cut to a country manor where Lex Luthor is being interviewed about reforming.
Yes.
Previously in Justice League, he teamed up with them to save the Justice League to save the world and was pardoned. About reforming and his new book. He's smarmy and it's wonderful.
Yes.
I love this Lex Luthor. This is the Lex Luthor from Superman Red Son. Who,
Oh, right, the one that knows everything and understands that he's better than everyone.
yeah, I'm better than you. I know it. You know it. Let's move on.
Yeah, I'm rich, don't have to care.
And
You arrest me, I'll get out eventually, don't worry.
yeah, he's
That's
just
cute.
delightful. And this is one of my favorite Lex Luthors, which is saying something for such an iconic character. So,
Right.
he's smarmy and he's wonderful. He says he doesn't know how long he's gonna live, so he's gonna do good.
Yes. He's got cancer from all of that crazy kryptonite he's been using against Superman, which is really ironic and kind of funny.
Yeah,
But is still, kind of suck.
it was appropriate poetic justice.
Yes, exactly.
He doesn't. He says he might be friends with the League.
Isn't
And-
that something else, though? Now that I think about it, like, he had cancer.
Yeah,
Lex Luthor had cancer, and they talked about that.
yeah. That's a very mature way of dealing with death.
Yeah,
That
holy crap.
He went through the 5 stages. Now he's at acceptance, and he's gonna do good. That was his
good.
acceptance.
Yeah.
It's really nice, actually.
Acceptance. Woo.
If I was an adult sitting with my kid watching this show, I'd be very happy about that. I'd be like, wow, kid, be like Lex Luthor.
Yeah,
Except for every other part of his personality.
I would disagree making my kid like Lex Luthor, because then he would go off and start, beating up on all the other kids and taking their money.
Yeah. So, out of the sky, just as he says he'd like to be friends, the Justice League consents. And out of the sky comes Supergirl and Steel as they fly and grab Lex Luthor as the camera records. So, Lex Luthor is not happy about his kidnapping,
Oh God.
but they tell him about Amazo, and he agrees pretty quick. But he says he has his own safe house. They go to a barber shop.
Oh my God, I love a safe house because when when I was young, I really didn't understand the joke.
Yeah.
They go to a barber shop, and I thought the joke was that they go, "Wow, Lex, no one will think to look for you here." I was like, "It's because it's so old timey barber shop. It's very hidden and it's really mysterious." It's no, Lex Luthor is bald.
Yeah.
He has no hair.
I like how we went from something really highbrow to a bald joke. And I love how that's so seamless. It's just fantastic. So, in the shop, Lex Luthor activates a switch on the chair that sends him down a tunnel with random turns and kryptonite that Steel and Supergirl can't navigate.
Yes.
At the end of the tunnel, there are 7 reinforced steel doors behind which his panic room sits, with a giant gun pointing at the only entrance.
Super mega cannon
Yeah.
aimed at the entrance.
And just as he knows he's safe, the Atom introduces himself.
Yep, we
And
get the
sorry.
Atom. Nope, go for it.
I was just going to say, I think this is also one of my favorite... The Atom they chose to use here. They don't say the name, but it's the old man Atom. It's the guy who's a scientist who just superheroes a bit on the side.
Superheroes on the side. He's a superhero for hire.
Yeah.
Or for hobby. That's what it
for
was.
hobby. That his real interest is microtechnology. And, he's got superpowers, so he's going to save the world when he gets around to it, but...
Yo, he has to go in science first. God, can't you, burning building... Can't you, orphans that are screaming or whatever, can't you just, settle down? I need to go in science first, and then I'll save your orphanage or something.
Yes. So, Lex Luthor is not impressed. He calls the Atom the weakest member of the League, and the Atom shows remarkable maturity. He doesn't rise to the bait. And he says, Luthor, you're too smart to know I won't be useful, which is just fantastic. The level of emotional maturity this Atom shows throughout the episode.
I don't think it wasn't just emotional maturity. It's just that he knows what he's here for, and he knows that he's going to make a difference right now.
Yeah.
He's got something that Lex wants, and he's the only thing that's standing in their way.
So, even though Lex is panicked, he still gives in because the Atom is right, and he sees that, because he's still smart.
The Atom shows that he has the secret blueprints to the android that were being held back by the League itself.
Yeah. Lex Luthor says how to fight Amazo without... Sorry, yes. So he gives him the blueprints. In space, Superman, Green Lantern, and a legion of heroes, along with a fleet of javelins.
Oh, Jesus Christ, there were so many of them.
Yeah, that was a dramatic moment there. This is the League at full power.
Yeah.
This is its terrifying conclusion. This is, if they decided after they defeated Ivo's android that they wanted to take over the Earth, they could.
Oh my God,
they'd still make tea time.
Yes, tea time, fantastically.
So...
Tea with blood. I also really enjoy the fact that Superman is outside in space in a little suit.
Yeah.
So this isn't one of those, super busted Superman where he can just do whatever the hell he wants. He still needs something to help him breathe in space.
Yes. Yes, Superman's quite human and depowered in this show. Actually, Superman, I think, is one of the few weak points of this show because they oftentimes use him to let you know the villain is strong. He's strong because he defeated Superman. And that works really well the first time you do it.
I don't know. I feel like...
Because... Sorry, yeah?
Which other villain are you talking about? Because, when you have Darkseid, really the big entrance with him was what drove him to show that he was scary. It wasn't even the fact that he was duking it out with Superman. I feel like, when Darkseid came in and everything was just on fire... Do you know what I'm referring to? That'll be much later on. Yeah. Never mind. We'll come back to that someday.
Yes. So, I don't know. I think there's a couple times in this show, more in Justice League than in Unlimited, that the person defeats Superman, and then you're like, oh, this is serious. Mm-hmm. But it makes Superman seem kind of weak, because he's defeated 3 or 4 times a season. And Green Lantern is never really defeated. So, it's like you could rotate it every once in a while.
Well, Green Lantern was most definitely defeated in one of the later episodes, but
yeah,
I do not want to spoil that one. That one was one of my favorites.
Yes.
Oh my God, I could talk about that one for hours. Wildcat, I love you!
Yes. So, let's see. So, Ivo's android now knows telepathy. They square off. Superman tries to talk him down in what is a great character moment for Superman. That he tries peace first.
Oh, right, yeah.
But the android will not be stopped. He is determined. Yes?
I liked it a lot more because it was, Superman really he was the child in that conversation. Superman's like, what are you doing here? And Amazo just says, why do you ask a question you already know the answer to? And Superman just goes, Lex Luthor, Amazo talked down to Superman. That was really cool.
Not many people talk down to Superman, yeah.
Yeah, not too many people do that. But, Amazo is literally, made of gold and rainbows. And fire.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's not going to be stopped anytime soon. He ran through a planet, and yeah, shit's going down.
Yeah.
So yeah, they tell Amazo to turn back one last time, and he refuses.
And
Yeah,
Green Lantern
John Stewart.
angrily leads the assault.
He screams, "Light him up!"
Yeah, he did not want this peaceful solution to work. He wanted to kill.
Oh yeah, he was mad over Oa.
And
He was pissed.
yeah, and the android's actually knocked back.
Oh yeah.
That might be the only time this episode he's knocked back.
Yeah.
So, but
Like a moment.
but he comes back and
Screen goes white.
he defeats the entire Justice League.
There you go.
Cut to Lex Luthor sweating over a motherboard. The Atom asks why the android hates him, and Lex Luthor says he took advantage of his naivete, and he's no longer naive or weak.
Yep.
So, Lex Luthor really looks reformed here. Like here, I kind of believe that Lex
I
Luthor
don't think so.
has got his 60-day Evils Anonymous patch, and he's like, I am done with evil.
I really can't see that at all. Like, I mean, he's so angry about this whole situation. You know, he's been tempered, you know, pretty much by the android, by death hanging over him, even more so than the cancer. You know, like clearly Amazo was, you know, bearing down on him harder than a disease.
But I mean, the question here is whether or not Lex Luthor said that to manipulate the Atom.
That he was manipulating Amazo?
Yeah.
I don't think that was to manipulate the Atom. It was just... Well, no. He was telling the Atom that he was naive, Amazo was naive, and he was taking advantage of that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there is regret in Luthor's voice. So either he really regrets it, or B, he's faking it to cast himself as a sympathetic person.
I think he regrets it because he's going to die. I think he regrets messing with, you know, a guy with a big gun. That's what he regrets. Because, like, right now, he is fearing for his life. Later on, remember when he was screaming at the Atom?
Yeah.
That one moment where, you know, they're talking back and forth about what they have to do, and the Atom, you know, he consoles him.
Yeah.
Tells him we're going to get through this because Lex Luthor is so distraught right now.
Yeah.
He's terrified of Amazo.
On some level, the League has to believe that Lex Luthor is somewhat reformed because they give him the blueprints.
Now, we don't know if the League gave him blueprints or the Atom stole those blueprints.
I think the League gave it to him. Because Martian Manhunter sees it. They don't hide it.
Martian Manhunter's also he's a nice guy. You know, Martian Manhunter is like he's the dad that lets you sneak another cookie, you know? He knows you're wrong and he sees you and you make eye contact with him, but he kind of winks cuz he's the cool dad. Yeah. I think that's what was going on. You know, they snuck those blueprints out and gave them to him because what else were they going to do? I don't think that was, you know, something that they thought about, except for the Atom.
I disagree. I think that the League was trusting Lex Luthor here, that he made some real steps towards, how should I put this? He'd made some real steps towards reforming, and this was a level of trust they were showing in him.
I really couldn't. I can't agree.
Because these blueprints are one of the most dangerous items in the universe.
Yeah, but think about the situation. They're facing off with the most dangerous item in the universe. So what do they need to do? They need to use every single gun that they have. And one of that is putting aside their differences and, you know, putting that gun, that weapon in the hands of someone that knows how to use it. So maybe Lex Luthor is the one who's capable of taking apart Amazo.
Yeah, I still think there's a level of trust there, and I think that Luthor, even though I know where he's going and that he's not going to stay good, I really think Luthor is making an effort to reform here.
It's desperate
and he's to
times,
a degree succeeding.
Desperate times call for desperate measures. That's what it is, in my opinion. You know, like shit's hitting the fan, and they need to act as fast as possible. Whether or not they trust Luthor, I don't think they still do.
I don't think they trust him, but I think they're willing to trust him to a degree in desperate times. So, that's what I think. Okay.
I totally missed. What did you? I didn't even hear that.
So connection problems, people. I'm just gonna restate what I just said. Basically, I think Luthor really reformed to a degree that I think he's still not a good person, but he's no longer a supervillain because he doesn't think it's profitable anymore. So he's making an effort to reform.
Oh, right. Well, I mean, did you hear my really awesome "Desperate Times Call for Desperate Measures" quote? And
Yes.
and I got super philosophical, and
Yes,
I
I
gave
heard
a
that.
long-winded speech that would make people fall in love with me. Did I at least get
We
that
missed
far?
the long-winded speech.
Damn it.
Okay, why don't you give us the long-winded speech?
No, it's only those things that come every once in a lifetime, and it's over. But I guess we'll
Alas.
try and make a redubbed version. But
Yes.
it's really, I don't think he might be reformed in the sense that he's no longer going to openly try and take over governments. But I don't think he's reformed in the sense that he's going to stop being a prick and stop doing like crazy experiments on things. I don't think he's going to be a grand scale supervillain, but I still think that he's going to use his power and his money, to go and do whatever the hell he wants, no matter who gets hurt with it. It's because
I'm not gonna say he isn't still narcissistic or a prick.
But how much of a reform is being reformed here for Lex Luthor? Because stop being a villain could be because of the fact that he's dying, so he has no reason to do so. I wouldn't say that's reforming. I would say that's the going with the season, going with the times. And the reason why the Justice League trusted him with the blueprints, or the Atom stole the blueprints and gave them to him because they understood what he was going to do, which was fight for his life.
Yeah, I think the interests of the League and Lex Luthor align here.
Yes.
So,
like stars.
So Martian Manhunter appears on the screen and gives the bad news. The space defenses have been crushed. We cut to the wrecked javelins floating through space, and the Justice League all knocked out.
Yep.
The Atom and Lex Luthor get into an argument, and the Atom sees what it's really about. When he responds to Lex Luthor's barb by saying, "We'll beat him, Lex.
Yeah.
We really will."
Yeah. Lex is freaking out.
Yeah, he's freaking out in a way that keeps his intelligence, which is a credit to him and shows why he's such a dangerous villain. That he has all these negative qualities, but he never lets them overwhelm his intellect. He's a kind of Luciferish figure.
I don't know. That was like a really whiny thing to say.
What?
But no, I liked what they were going back and forth. Like that's what circuit breakers are for.
Yeah. Yeah, if you don't have time. That was fun. Yeah, it was kind of fun. Let's see. So, the android has now gotten to the air defenses, which are anchored by Supergirl. Yay, Supergirl. She flies straight at the android. We see a little bit of hesitation, but she just keeps on going. She flies straight at him. And there's a huge explosion. Looks like an atom bomb went off. But when the light clears, Supergirl has been knocked into the ocean, and Amazo is unharmed. The other heroes are brave, but equally ineffective. Red Tornado's even blown up, which is just kind of a holy shit moment. Like, I know you can reconstruct him because he's just an android, but holy crap. He just friggin' cut in half and exploded a superhero.
Yeah, he I do like how they what was it? They caught what's her name? Fire.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they caught Fire, and then when Red Tornado gets chopped in half and exploded, no one goes to catch him.
Well, I gotta imagine they collected him like they did Captain Atom.
Yeah. I was like, there's nothing to catch at the moment because he's pretty much incinerated. So
You gotta assume his like motherboard or something survived, and they could reconstruct him from
was the
that.
reason. Yeah, he's just exploded.
Which, if they can reconstruct him from that little, there's a question of why there aren't like 30 red tornadoes around.
Well, you can't have 30 red tornadoes.
But
That's just it
we're
ruins the
whistling past that.
authenticity.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying you could have an entire league of red tornadoes. In case the Earth is invaded or something, you could activate the emergency red tornado brigade. So, Martian Manhunter contacts the third line of defense. Steel is pretty shaken when he finds out that the first two lines have been broken. He then warns Lex Luthor and the Atom. Lex Luthor says stop bothering him. He's disheveled and short-tempered, and also has an undershirt on now, which was strange because he didn't have one earlier. But
Did you notice there was a fridge down there?
well, I
was really hoping
imagine
it would be like open at one point and you'd see what's inside.
that would have been awesome to see what sort of food Luthor eats. Like, what does he stock in his fridge? I'm kind of curious. It would tell us something about his personality.
Lots of alcohol.
Somehow I can't imagine Luthor drinking.
An excessive amount. Too much.
So, Dr. Fate appears behind Martian Manhunter and says he brings hope. Basically, he and Martian Manhunter go back and forth about what? They basically go back and forth on whether or not there's still hope in this situation. It's a kind of cool character piece for Dr. Fate. And it's interesting because this is a diametrically opposed Dr. Fate from what we see in, say, Young Justice. And I love both.
I like the Dr. Fate in Young Justice is a huge difference compared to this one, moral wise and amount of crazy power too.
Yeah. They never really get into the fact there's a man under that mask and that he isn't in control of his body in this show, and I really like both.
Yeah, they don't really get into the fact of who Dr. Fate is as a character.
Yeah.
Just him and existing and understand that he's there.
He's a bit of a MacGuffin, but
A MacGuffin.
he's a really sweet MacGuffin, so...
He's a pretty sweet MacGuffin.
So, one of these things that it's just so awesome I'm willing to accept it. So, let's see. Which one do you prefer, actually? Do you prefer the dark one from Young Justice, or this really hopeful one from Justice League Unlimited?
I kind of like this one because we, in a way, get a little more with it. We get a more... and we get more of a person, of a personality besides just, I am Dr. Fate, which was, like what half of his commentary was in Young Justice. But I mean, not saying that was bad at all, because that was making him out to be some kind of crazy, omnipotent, overpowered being, That was that Dr. Fate. I just like this one a little bit more. He was a bit more relatable, like, as to being a character.
I think I agree with you. I really like it because I really love his halfway home for superheroes. I think that's just fantastic.
Yeah.
That he runs a halfway home.
I like that, yeah.
I thought that was such a good idea because it brings up a good question. What do you do with superheroes who stray? They need a place to go. And he provides that. And that's a really important good service, especially in this world where there are so many heroes. It doesn't really need one more. Even one more as powerful as Dr. Fate. Also, that sign, it's like some Egyptian sign. I'm trying to remember what it is. It's like, is it the sign of Isis? The Egyptian deity whose name is an unfortunate
I
acronym.
have no
Sorry.
idea.
It's the sign of one of the Egyptian gods, I think. I should have looked it up before. I just realized that now. So whatever. We can go back to the breakdown now. The android...
Okay.
Sorry, yeah?
No, continue.
The android comes to the barbershop, where he is surrounded by the third line of defense. But because we're running low of time, he now knows how to make an explosion that defeats them all.
Yeah.
Lex Luthor is terrified and gets back to work. The defenses in the tunnel activate, but to no avail. Also, it's kind of a nice moment that the defenses don't activate for Supergirl and Steel. That Lex Luthor cared about them enough not to attack them that way.
Well,
So-
they never got so far, remember?
They didn't get as far as Amazo. Actually, you're right. Maybe the defenses are farther down. Okay.
Plus, maybe they didn't activate all the way, remember? You know, Amazo does... Or, well, Lex Luthor, she said before, he thinks of everything.
Yeah.
So, he goes on to just be some crazy stuff going up in there.
Yeah. So, let's see. Tunnel, but to no avail. The Atom and Lex Luthor work to finish the cannon. They succeed just as the android breaks through the last wall. Lex Luthor fires and a blinding light comes out and leaves no damage. Ivo's android then says that would have worked a month ago when he was still nanotech, but now he has evolved to what? We will never know. In space, the Green Lantern Corps rescues the Justice League space team. However, Oa is still gone. This is the last of the Green Lanterns, and they're going to use all of their energy on a suicide blast that will destroy the android and half of Earth.
Yep.
But it's the best plan they have. Cut to Martian Manhunter and Dr. Fate.
I liked what they said. They were like, you know, half of Earth is better than no Earth. And I'm like,
Yeah.
blowing up half of a planet will inevitably destroy the planet. That whole gravity and molten core thing, I just feel like it won't really work out.
I thought it meant to make half the Earth unlivable.
I feel like blowing up, if you technically blow up half of the planet, just like think of the crap that's going to happen.
Yeah, no. Life might not be possible on the rest of Earth. That's also a possibility. But I didn't think they meant they were going to like destabilize the hunk of rock we call Earth. I thought they were talking about it was going to make the northern hemisphere unlivable or something like that.
The hunk of rock. I mean, like, it was just a thing to say, really, for what was going to happen.
No, you're right.
You know, they're saying we might as well stop it now because at the moment this guy is way too powerful for anyone to deal with.
Yeah. So, we cut to Martian Manhunter and Dr. Fate. Martian Manhunter agrees it's the only way, but Dr. Fate thinks there might be another. They have a philosophical discussion on the use of force.
Right. Oh my god, no, I love what he does. You know, he says like, you know, let them do this. And Jon Stewart just goes, you know, not even Dr. Fate can stand up against the Green Lantern Corps.
Yeah. So the android knocks away the Atom and picks up Lex Luthor. He throws him across the room and lays out his grievances. The Atom though has a last second plan. He shrinks them to atomic size. However, even this won't stop the android. Nothing can stop him. The android asks why Lex is so basically greedy. Lex realizes the real reason the android has come. He doesn't know his purpose. And that is why he is here. It's not actually to kill Lex.
He asks what Lex's purpose was, and then, you know, Lex Luthor just looks at him and says, "Wait, you're asking me what your purpose is, not mine."
He gets that immediately, yeah. When people ask things about you, they're actually asking about themselves.
Right.
So Dr. Fate appears in front of the Green Lantern Corps. He asks them for a chance to talk, but they're too angry, and he gives in because even he can't stand against the entire Green Lantern Corps. However, they walk into an empty room. Cut to Lex Luthor in the subatomic universe. Lex Luthor says his name will be forgotten because time and death win all battles. The android asks him, why go on? Why doesn't the android destroy everything? Dust shakes as the android prepares to destroy them. However, Lex says he won't see the end of the evolutionary process. He demands to know the meaning of life. The android demands to know the meaning of life, and he isn't going to accept 42. Lex Luthor says there. Yes. So Lex Luthor says there's no way to know. But the android can see it all, and that's worth being around for.
Right.
So
the android will be able to see the end of everything. He will live forever.
Lex Luthor is really jealous of that immortality. I want to get through all of this, and then I want to talk about it for like an hour. So, the android asks if this is his purpose to merely see. Lex says we create our own purpose with just a delightful amount of condescension in life. Now go create yours.
Oh my god, he drops that bomb. The best thing that he does though is he drops the mic there and then turns around and like starts walking back to the Atom. Like, where are you going?
Well, the android was the Atom I think was gonna grow them back.
Well, no, he walks to the Atom as if he's walking away. You know, I don't think the Atom could have done anything in that situation unless Amazo willed it to do, you know?
Yeah,
but like he does that. He walks away like a baller, you know, but he's still on Amazo's hand in his universe.
Yeah. No, you're right. Lex Luthor has shown some pretty big cojones here. So
Jesus Christ.
I also want to talk about this philosophy. This is just some delightful secular humanism here.
Delicious.
Yeah, I think it so fits Lex Luthor that he's a secular humanist. Because the way he acts, there's no way he could be religious. He's just way too self-centered to ever believe there's someone above him, even God.
I like what he was saying before. It's very, I really enjoy it. You know, it's very feel good way to look at life. We really don't have a purpose except for the ones that we make.
Yeah.
We find the things that we enjoy in life. We find the things we're good at, and then we go with them. We don't do anything else besides that. It really shows why his character is the way he is, you know?
Yeah.
He's been given this amazing gift of a brain that just, like, won't shut up, and it's so fantastic. And he views the world as a challenge. And all these superheroes are getting in his way. And that's why he keeps going, and he keeps doing all this crap. Which is really admirable at one point, if you look at it like that.
It reminds me of Superman Red Son, where Lex Luthor on his deathbed at like 1001, because he figured out how to live almost forever. He said, they ask him, because he's this world-renowned hero at the end of Red Son. They ask him, what was the greatest thing you ever accomplished? And he says, why, defeating the alien, of course. That he just views life as a series of challenges for him to command. That is what he took life. He grabbed it with both hands, and that's what he made of it. It's so beautiful. It should be a philosophy. Not that you should be like Lex Luthor, but I can imagine Lex Luthor in college when he was like 3, and going for his bachelor's. He probably took a couple philosophy classes and just mastered philosophy. And he's like, this Kant guy, I don't like him because he makes me do things. I'm going to go with Nietzsche.
Nietzsche.
Yeah, I imagine. I think this really fits in this sort of Nietzschean.
Some abyss and some staring.
Yeah.
And,
Like, there's nothing in there but those Ubermenches, those strong people like me,
the
can
Ubermentions.
create meaning, and others will follow in need of our meaning because they are weak. It really fits Luther. I imagine he had this old Nietzschean professor in college who taught him that, and then he was just sitting in that class in the front row, and he was 8 years old, and
I was about to say that.
he was just, his mind was blown that he couldn't believe this, and that he looks back on that as a defining moment of his life. I don't know. I love this philosophy here. It so fits Luther, but it's oddly beautiful in its own right. That even though it's narcissistic and it leaves very little room for morality and the rest of humanity, creating your own meaning in an empty world has such a poetry to it.
Jeez, that just sounded like really. God, my heart. Don't do these things to me, Jordan.
I love it. And now I want to talk about it. Does this fit the rest of this show? What we've seen in the previous 7 episodes? Is this a world where there is no meaning but you create your own? Or is this a world that is inherently fair or inherently unfair? I think you could make an argument for all 3 of them with what we've seen so far. But I think that this is a world not like ours. This is a world that's inherently fair.
Yeah. Everyone seems to have their place. Everything seems to be fine socially.
Yeah.
Besides, when you have superheroes shooting about doing whatever the hell it is that they want to do, I feel like you're going to have a lot more giant alien problems than you will have, have to pay my mortgage problems.
Yeah, it does seem like people help each other out a little bit more than in our world. And that there's a bit more communitarian impulses. Which is kind of cool. It seems like this is if it weren't for all those pesky robbers and super geniuses, it'd be a really nice place to live. But it still is kind of a nice place to live because there are superheroes. And they balance out that evil. And the world is inherently fair. I don't know. It's kind of nice. I would love it if I could add one thing to Justice League Unlimited. I think I would add religion. I think religion would be such an interesting concept to deal with in this universe.
Say that again?
I think it would be awesome if we had one character in Justice League Unlimited who was religious. Like a Nightcrawler in the Marvel Universe.
Right.
And just seeing him interact with the League. I think that'd be fascinating. I don't know who you do in the DC Universe, though.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to think about it.
Because they're much bigger on the Greek gods. But I'd love it if you had like a former Catholic priest turned superhero.
Former Catholic priest turned superhero.
I think that would be a really awesome hero for this universe that deals with so much minutia about, is this world fair? And our villains generally saying no. And our heroes saying yes because we make it so.
Yeah. I really feel like having a god would really go against a lot of what, being a superhero is about. Because, you're doing it for justice and you're doing it for all those good crap and...
No. Not all the heroes. All the other heroes are pretty much the same.
I'm just saying,
there should be like a Nightcrawler character.
Very odd to interact with. I don't think there would be a lot in terms of... You'd have to make it a much more serious story intended for that. I don't feel like it could be a side character.
Yeah, I mean, but if you got an episode like, say, Hawk or Dove, or see, that's probably the best example, or Fearful Symmetry, something like that, where that guy got a storyline revolving around him. I
Which
think
one
that'd be
was
really
Fearful
cool.
Symmetry?
What? That was the one with Supergirl that focused on her.
Oh, right.
Um, so I like that. I think it'd be really cool. I wish there was. I think just religion would be such an interesting thing, especially if it was in this episode where we could have contrasted that view with Luther's almost Nietzschean secular humanism.
Mm. Mm.
I guess it isn't really secular humanism because there's like a charitable portion of humanism that doesn't really fit Lex Luthor.
I don't
But
think
it's that.
Lex Luthor contributes to the bank that is his ego.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's more narcissism. Okay.
It's not even that I don't feel like he's narcissistic. I feel like he's just got confidence to the point where it's destructive.
Yeah.
He understands that he is literally on top and there is absolutely nothing anyone can do about it.
Yeah.
He is the mega and everyone, he is the alpha and the omega and everybody else is just a beta.
Yeah. So the dust settles. The dust of the android's threat, and Lex Luthor smiles. But then he just can't resist putting in an insult.
Oh my
Because
god.
as much as he might or might not be reformed, he's still a dick.
Oh yeah, he turns around and is just like, I gotta say it, you know. I look at I look at Amazo and he's really upset right now. He's clearly trying to figure everything out, and I just have to kick him in the teeth.
Yeah. So he says he was scared of the android, but now he sees his uncertainty and vulnerability. He only pities him.
Oh god.
And he just has so much contempt into the word pity. I can't do it justice. Hats off to the voice actor who played Luthor, who just did a fantastic job.
I can't remember his name, but I know he's a very famed actor. He's very he does a lot of really good voices,
Yeah.
or just like that one voice a lot of times.
I'll have it in 1 second.
Yeah. I just love the
Luthor-
reaction was immediate from the Adam. He was like, "Oh god damn it, Lex."
Luthor is played by Clancy Brown.
There you go. Really? Is it Clancy Brown? I totally forget.
Yep. Who also played him in Superman, the animated series.
That's probably him.
Yes. So, continuing on.
Carrying onwards.
Let's see. So, you know what's kind of funny about this, too?
What is funny about this?
The vulnerability and these qualities that Luthor is insulting. The vulnerability and the... Sorry, looking for that. The vulnerability and the weakness in here is the first time we actually really feel connected to the android. The first time he's a character and not just a plot device. It's actually kind of a good moment for him that Luthor is insulting. It shows this weakness of character that Luthor has, that he doesn't see this really beautiful struggle that the android is going through to find purpose and to learn right and wrong. It shows a real weakness to Luthor's character.
Shows a weakness in the fact that I still go and say that it's because of his confidence. You know, he's confident to a destructive level.
Yeah.
Where he understands he is top dog and he ain't going down anytime soon.
Yeah. So
That's even when he got the cancer. I feel like he still has that entire attitude about him. You know, it's just like, oh man, this sucks, but you know, I'm still fucking awesome.
it kind of almost plays into his ego that he has cancer. That he's like, I'm so brilliant, no one can kill me but me. So, okay. So,
Yes.
let's see. So the android grows them to full size.
Well, first the android just shoves his face into the screen, and the Atom and Lex Luthor fucking scream because they're like, "Oh God, why?"
Yeah. At the
There's
core,
no pity in that one.
and the Green Lantern Corps almost attacks because Dr. Fate steps in the way and says it's over. John Stewart is not satisfied by this. He wants revenge for Oa. And the android says he just moved Oa. Green Lantern, angrily, barely containing his anger, asked if he could move it back.
Can you please put it back?
Yeah.
I just love that. You could tell he was on the verge of punching Amazo.
Oh,
He
yeah.
used his powers. He was gonna punch him. He was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Yeah. So, let's see. Green Lantern, as we move back, he does. And they just believe him after he says he does. His eyes light up, and that proves it. Dr. Fate offers the android help finding his purpose because he says that's his purpose in life. And I love that line. It so fits Dr. Fate's role in this show that he's just there to help these people achieve their potential. And that's what he's doing. Is he keeps on doing it, and he's found happiness doing it.
Yes.
So, and he takes him to his tower. The android asks why Dr. Fate. They leave, and the Atom says, "Told you we'd beat him." Lex Luthor just replies, "What do you mean we?"
Yeah.
And walks away like a boss. So, the Atom is shocked, but mostly amused. In Dr. Fate's tower, they arrive, and he asks his assistant Enza to find a place for the android. He says he was worried that John Stewart was going to attack him, but Hawkgirl comes in and says, "Don't worry, his bark is worth than his bite." Credits.
Shira!
Yeah, and Hawkgirl's back. Yay! This is. I think there's only what. I don't love the Hawkgirl Green Lantern romance, but I still like it. I think it's pretty good. I don't know. I never felt they had that chemistry Batman and Wonder Woman have. I don't know. So, let's see. So, what do you think the philosophical statement this episode is making is, as we answer our big question?
Well, it was talking a lot about the reasoning, for why we do anything.
Yeah.
It was, like a... Hold on a second. I'm sorry.
Okay.
All right. It was, a lot of go out and do what you love. Even though it was coming from the weirdest source, which was Lex Luthor,
Yeah.
it was very clear the intention, was to try and get us to focus on becoming more for the sake of, what we enjoy.
Yeah. So, I think this episode ultimately sides with Luthor, that you make your own purpose. Of
course it sided with Luthor.
That this is a world, and it can be a void, but it can also be beautiful. So, I really like that, actually. I really like the idea that you can make the world a more beautiful place. So, I think this kind of fits with what they were doing, that you can change things. Like in Hawk and Dove, the answer is peace. That's how you defeat the villain. In this little piggy, the answer also isn't violence. That sometimes the way you win is not always by punching them. To get into the Justice League, you need to be able to punch really hard. But if that's all you can do, we're not going to let you in. And I think that fits the rest of the episode. I think this actually is a pretty philosophically coherent episode.
I liked it definitely more than anything else because we really got to see a lot of different heroes. We got to see a lot of, different ways that people interact with the problem at hand. And we got to see a whole new side of a character that we only see as being aggressive.
Yeah. Yeah, that was kind of cool. So, actually, I was coming into this episode thinking, this is kind of mediocre. But now that we're talking about this really awesome philosophy, I'm liking this episode more and more.
I mean, I say this crap all the time to myself, yes or no?
Yeah.
It's really, go and find what you love. Go and find to do it.
Yeah. So...
I don't know. Closing statements.
Yes.
Philosophical retribution. Ba-ba.
Yes, so now I believe all that's left is to rank this episode.
Oh, right. God, I gotta go start, I gotta remember these. I keep forgetting my ranks.
Okay, you want me to read it off for you?
Yes, blocks. Okay. Well, actually, no, because I'm pretty sure I can rank this one clearly.
Okay. Where do you put it?
I would put it fourth.
Fourth? So that would be worse than This Little Piggy, but better than Hawk and Dove.
Right. I feel like it did something more than Hawk and Dove did in terms of asking a question, in terms of showing us a lot more action that, we really wanted to see, and made for a really good episode that we got to see the characters develop and grow. It did that better than Hawk and Dove, but it didn't give you a lot of fun as much as This Little Piggy.
This Little Piggy was a fun episode. So for me, I'm gonna put it a little bit lower. I'm gonna put it at 5, right below the other J.M. DeMatteis episode. For The Man Who Was Everything, and above The Greatest Story Never Told, which is weirdly low at 6, even though that's a fantastic episode. So it seems to me that the defining point that J.M. DeMatteis, he writes this very sort of interesting philosophical episodes, and I've been really enjoying him. I think I'm going to find out what else he's written. See that, maybe if I've got some time this week, maybe I'll do that. So, I think I put it, though, below For The Man Who Was Everything, because...
Jeez.
I just love the Superman scenes in there. Sorry, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't appreciate them nearly as much because I'm more of an action humor kind of guy, but definitely in terms of telling a story and increasing character, you do have a point.
Yeah.
It is a very strong episode. You won't get nearly any other episodes in this show that were that in-depth with character development.
Well, I don't know. How about next week when we have the Ultimate?
Oh, God, the Ultimate. You're right.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. We're just knocking them out of the park each episode.
And guess who wrote that one? That really also deeply philosophical, deals with death episode.
Let me think. Wait. What other episode deals with death that we've seen so far? I can't even think about it.
It's the same writer. It's J.M. DeMatteis.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying it was someone different.
No, yeah.
God, I totally winged that one.
I love this guy. He writes such interesting stuff. So I think most people who watch the show, their favorite writer is Dwayne McDuffie. I have not seen anyone really get into the writers here, but he wrote most of the season finales. And
good name.
Pretty much, yeah, it is a pretty fantastic name. He wrote pretty much all of season 2, too. Seriously, he writes literally the back half of season 2. And most of season 3 as well. So, yeah. he's probably the most Justice League Unlimited writer.
He's the most unlimited
But
of all of them.
J.M. Matisse is probably going to fight it out for my second favorite.
I didn't really focus much on the writers, so I mean, like, I feel like I should.
Yeah. I looked up some stuff about them, but there isn't too much about them. These aren't like famous people like, I don't know, the writers of The Avengers. You're going to know all of them.
Yeah.
Because they're the best in the business. This is a
I
little
don't
bit
know.
lower budget.
In all honesty, I wouldn't say those. I wouldn't say that those. Oh, do you mean like the comics, The Avengers, or the movies?
I mean the movies, like Joss Whedon and
I would disagree
his writing.
On the writing for those movies being that amazing.
Really, I love the Avengers writing. I thought it was so funny.
I think the first one, funny, yes, but like the second movie just did not make sense to me.
Okay, the second movie was not great. No,
Yeah.
it wasn't. It was kind of cool because it was the Avengers, but it was not great. So, let's see. Anything else to say before we go?
Always look on the bright side of not getting vaporized by a insanely powerful android.
Yes, do avoid insanely powerful androids.
Yeah, don't
They can
pick
be
on
quite
them
dangerous.
because they will kill you.
Yeah, you think they're all naive and you can manipulate them to steal stuff for you, but
Yeah.
it never works out. So remember, kids, don't play with androids.
Don't play with androids. Even if you know that kid that's down the street who is actually an android, don't play with him.
Yeah,
He's probably also a racist.
yeah. Androids are known for being very racist. So, remember, kids, this has been a public service announcement by Cartoon Conversations. Androids are racist. Goodbye.